Let's pray for Texas.
We begin tonight with that breaking news, a mass shooting at an American church. A gunman opening fire in a service at the First Baptist Church in Sutherland Springs, a tiny town just southeast of San Antonio. At least 26 people were killed, including the pastor's own 14-year-old daughter. At least 20 others injured, many of them airlifted to nearby hospitals. FBI special agents now on the scene, and this just in, law enforcement officials have identified the suspect as Devin Kelly. You see him there. An entire town in shock as they learn the devastating news. This massacre is now the deadliest church shooting in America and the fourth deadliest mass shooting behind Las Vegas, Orlando, and Virginia Tech. We've just learned the president has been briefed several times while overseas in Japan, and we're also getting word about a hero neighbor who engaged the gunman and possibly helped save lives. We begin tonight with ABC's Marcus Moore on the scene just outside of the church.
Tonight, a tiny Texas town, the site of a massacre. The shooting inside a Baptist church. First responders descending on the scene.
We have 6 ambulances en route.
Those ambulances racing to the First Baptist Church in Sutherland Springs, Texas.
Medic 12 is at Sam with 2 patients.
Authorities say it started at about 11:20 this morning when a gunman walked in during Sunday services and opened fire on the congregation. As he exited the church to reload, a local resident grabbed his rifle and shot him. The suspect got away, but that Good Samaritan wasn't far behind.
The shooter of the church had taken off, fled in his vehicle, and the other gentleman came and he said we needed to pursue him, that he just shot up the church, and so that's what I did.
The suspect dead, his vehicle found a county away from the church.
And be with us, dear, as we learn to deal with this.
Outside the church, tears and prayers as people gather awaiting word on loved ones possibly inside.
No, there's no words. There's just, this happens in New York, in big cities. No one's safe.
Word quickly spreading through the town of less than 1,000 people. A pastor from a neighboring church arriving to help.
We all know, and we're all prepared right now, that we're going to hear names and we're going to know every one of them.
Texas Rangers securing the scene. The FBI and the ATF now investigating as authorities assess the horrifying tolls. 26 dead, including the pastor's 14-year-old daughter. Late tonight, Texas Governor Greg Abbott responding to the massacre.
As governor, I ask for every mom and dad at home tonight that you put your arm around your kid and give your kid a big hug and let them know how much you love them.
And Marcus Moore joins us live from outside that church. Marcus, you reported the shooter is dead, and now we're learning there's multiple crime scenes?
Yeah, Tom, that's right. The first scene is the church itself. There's a second scene just outside. And the third scene is the car the suspect used, where tonight we're learning that investigators found several more weapons. Tom.
Police combing over all those clues. All right, Marcus Moore reporting live for us from Sutherland Springs. Tonight, we're still unclear about a motive, but we are learning more about the alleged gunman, the path he took, and the weapon used. Here's ABC senior justice correspondent Pierre Thomas.
Sources identify the suspect as Devin Kelly of New Braunfels, Texas, located outside of San Antonio. He is believed to be a man in his 20s or 30s and a military veteran. We've looked at a Facebook page associated with the name. Also seen a photograph of an assault-style rifle.
The suspect dropped his rifle, which was a Ruger AR assault-type rifle, and fled from the church. He was dressed in all black tactical-type gear and was wearing a ballistic vest.
It's highly likely that the shooter is either part of the congregation or at the very least part of the community. And the people he was shooting, he probably knew every one of them.
The scores of victims had little chance to survive. You can see how small the church is from this image taken a couple weeks ago. With virtually no room to move and to hide, they would have been easy targets, likely shot at close range.
And no room to escape that church so small. Pierre joins us live. Pierre, sources are telling you authorities are now searching the suspect's home for explosive devices?
That's right, Tom. There's believed to be a search underway at the shooter's home in Texas. There's concern about explosives. Tonight, law enforcement is doing a detailed background check on the suspect, looking for any ties to international terrorism. So far, sources say no indication of that, and police are looking for a possible connection to the church, Tom.
Now to the question everyone is asking tonight, just why were those worshipers targeted? Such a high death toll and so small, just a few hundred residents who live there. The carnage unthinkable. ABC's Eva Pilgrim with more on the victims.
Tonight, we are learning more about the people inside that small-town Texas church during the deadly shooting. The known victims ranging in ages from 5 to 72. That first-name victim, 14-year-old Annabelle Renee Pomeroy, the pastor's daughter. Pastor Frank Pomeroy saying he wants the world to know his daughter was one very beautiful, special child. Pastor Pomeroy, seen here in this YouTube video from just last week, wasn't in church this morning. He was out of town in Oklahoma at the time of the shooting, but is driving home now, telling ABC News, every one of our close friends is among the dead. You can see in these images from inside the church, this is a small church. 2 rows of pews, 1 aisle down the center, families in almost every seat.
I mean, if it can happen here, guys, it can happen anywhere.
At least 14 people are being treated at area hospitals, including a 5-year-old whose family tells us he's in surgery fighting for his life. Tonight, many family members still waiting for any word from their loved ones who were inside. At this time, nearby hospitals are still triaging patients. At least one we spoke to had to move at least 4 people to a different hospital that could handle a higher level of care. Tom?
And so many reports tonight about the children that were inside that church.
These were families.
All right, Eva, thanks so much.